because this is one of those things that it's difficult to believe until you see it with your own eyes. 2, 4, 6, 8, this time you cannot escape. Barricading furniture to prevent people from exiting.
That's biology professor Brett Weinstein, whose class was taken over last month by a group of students from the Evergreen State College. Weinstein started holding classes at an Olympia park after he was told he wasn't safe on campus.
It really all occurred in 2017. Towards the end of the year, they had a day where they asked all white students to not come to school.
Weinstein objected to the day of absence in a formal protest email to colleagues, arguing that, quote, one's right to speak or to be must never be based on skin color.
Making this point just set off a chain of events that led to these riots.
When the rioters barricaded the library building, which is the big administration building, one of the biggest buildings on campus, barricaded a number of people inside.
So I'm working on making sure food and water is being brought to everyone and that this is happening on a timely manner. Thank you.
This is the president of the college asking to go to the bathroom. His response, hold it, met with laughter. And this guy just sits there. The president of the college just takes it. Where do you think that's going to lead?
That activism took a turn that we didn't expect.
Why the is he here?
The protest grew, with President George Bridges becoming the next target of activists.
This led to calls for Brett Weinstein to be fired.
A sense at this point of why they want you to resign?
Well, they think that I'm a racist.
After the events that you've seen in this footage, he resigned. He later sued and was awarded $500,000 as a result.
A race to the bottom amongst faculty members to virtue signal to these rioters so that they can join them.
They're here. Like, we need to listen to their voice. They are out there. Their bodies are on the line.
Moral outrage does feel good. That's just a reality. It's why people do it.
These students know where to go where the power is, which is why they're here.
This is a teacher, a professor at this college, standing up to her colleagues and speaking for these brave students who are doing this, and she's getting all that validation.
If we were doing what they asked of us, this wouldn't be happening. These people have better shit to do.
Yeah.
I have better shit to do.
Do you really? Do you really? What? Then why aren't you doing it? What?
This is my fucking day off. I don't come to faculty meeting anymore because of all your racism.
I bet you don't come to faculty meetings very often anymore. That wouldn't surprise me.
You can go inside and you can listen to the students and what they're trying to say, or you can take your ass home. That is it.
I don't know how this is a professor. What does this individual teach? I'd be really curious to know.
That's what your job is to do, is to educate us. Didn't you educate us on how to do like this? It was you that taught us that in class. All right, though?
They're spelling it out right here, saying, this is, you taught us this. You showed us how to do this. And it's interesting to see how the tables will turn. And eventually, this is what occurs when you go down this road. You will get eaten by the very thing that you think you are a part of, which is what the faculty here are experiencing. 2, 4, 6, 8, this time you cannot escape. 2, 4, 6, 8, this time you cannot escape. They teach them that this behavior is acceptable if there's enough moral outrage, if you feel like you have enough justice on your side. It makes these actions morally okay.
This is all security right now. Students are taking furniture and putting it in front of the doors to block police from coming inside.
It makes it okay to barricade people in, hold them against their will and say, no, you can't use the restroom, exert power on others because you are coming from a place of moral righteousness. You can see it in their faces too. They don't quite know how to respond to this because it is what they've taught and what they've encouraged. And when that table gets turned and they're on the other end, they just seem speechless. In the wake of it, it's almost as though they can hardly believe this is happening.
And yet you come to a faculty member of color and charge her for not protecting your needs. So I refuse to listen to you grandstand and co-op That's what I have to say.
And you think that this doesn't repeat? Well, this last year, Emerson College had mass protests that blocked entrances in a similar fashion. We had the police come in, large numbers of arrests, faculty bail them out. The wheel keeps turning.
Later that day, the students held a raucous meeting at which they presented a list of demands, including the disarming of campus police and mandatory sensitivity training for all faculty.
The college is now in a they're making financial cuts. It's a bit of a financial crisis, to be honest. Plummeting enrollment, classes are being cut, departments are being cut. This has real consequences. If you don't learn from the past, it will continue to happen.
So the priority is that they stay in that room. If they aren't in that room, then we did something wrong. So you need to watch that door, watch all the doors, watch the windows. You need to keep eyes on them. And somebody needs to go in that room real quick to make sure that there's nobody in that room for them to leave. That's the number one priority until we get our demands here.
We need to make sure they do not leave that room. If they leave the room, we did something wrong. Check the exits. Keep eyes on them. I don't think the police are going to come, but if they do, we need that information to be transferred quickly because we need to respond to the police invasion. It's just remarkable.
So they need to be told that these assignments won't be done on time. And we don't need to be penalized for that.
Tell someone a story like this and expect them to grapple with it. This is one of those things you have to see to believe. This throughout history, when you advocate for the destruction and pulling down power hierarchies and going after those with power or wealth, it's easy for that to spiral out of control and then consume you. We saw this in the French Revolution. They overthrew the monarchy. The revolutionaries formed this public safety committee. And then, once they did overthrow the monarchy, they then started feuding within themselves. And then the moderates started to be executed. And then the people behind them started to be executed until you only have the most extreme left, because they are the ones who are willing to go the farthest and to be the most off the wall, the most extreme, and take the most drastic measures until it all just evolves into chaos.
We're having civil unrest on campus, major protests. They are stopping vehicles coming on and leaving campus.
Who's stopping them? Isn't it our guys?
It's our students that are stopping people.
Oh, our students that are stopping people. Why aren't we stopping them from stopping people?
Because the president has told Stacy to stand down. We're not to do anything.
Really?